My friends, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's great to see you here. I have another tarot card for you today. And I want to say thank you, first of all, if you have come and listened to the first video, the second video, even parts of those videos, and are now back to listen to all or part of the third video. I appreciate you, because this is all new for me. And I said this in the first video, but this is making these videos, just like blogging and journaling, things like that, helps me process things that I'm learning. And it feels like these cards, it's like learning a new language. But at the same time, it feels like it's a familiar language because the cards and the meaning of the cards find a lot of those meanings in the Bible and various other religious texts as well. And so studying the images on these cards and looking at them and seeing how they overlap into the Bible and other things, it just awakens a lot of stuff in me. And I have all these ideas and all these thoughts, and I have to get them out somehow. And so some of them make their way into my journal, some make their way into blog posts, and some make their way into videos like this. And so thank you for taking this journey with me, learning along with me. I appreciate you. So anyway, today's card is the King of Cups. And there's a lot going on in this card. There's a lot of things that we can say, just like all the cards. Like if you stare at these cards long enough, you'll see different things. Like every minute that goes by, you see something else. And that's the thing about the cards. You know, I have this book that I refer to called The Contemplative Tarot, a Christian guide to the cards. And in this book, Brittany talks about how to use the cards in contemplative prayer, right? To kind of look at the cards, study the images, and just listen for what God's voice has to say to you as different things come to your mind and come to your attention as you're looking at these cards. So anyway, King of Cups. There's a lot to talk about in this card, but the thing that really jumped out at me today that I want to share with you is the king is sitting on a cement throne. I'm assuming it's cement. It's gray, so we'll just say it's cement. But it's not like in a castle, right? It's not on land, but it's on the water. Like this dude's throne is floating on the water. And the water looks a little rough, right? There's some waves. There's a wave there in the background. He's floating away from his boat. It looks like there's a red sail in the back. I think that's a boat. He's floating away from it. And the waves are carrying him here, there, and everywhere. But he's stable, right? Like the cement's not sinking. He's not holding on for dear life, but he's got his cup. Maybe there's wine in there. There's coffee in there, whatever. But he's got his cup. He looks relaxed. He looks steady. He looks confident. He has a scepter in the other hand. And he's just riding these waves wherever they may go. But water, right, typically symbolizes the divine. Because Jesus, remember in I think John's gospel, Jesus said, I am the living water. Right? He's the living water. He's the living water. God is the living water. So water represents the divine. And so here we have this king on his cement throne, and he's floating on the divine as the divine carries him here, there, and everywhere. And he's at peace. He's confident. He's got his coffee and his scepter, and he's not afraid. And that got me today because life, right, seems to carry you from here, there, to everywhere. Whether you want to say it's the divine, it's the universe, it's life, whatever the water is for you. Sometimes it can be rough. The waves are high. Sometimes it can lead us to places we don't want to go, right? If you're just to go out in the ocean and lay on your back, the water would carry you all over the place. And sometimes the waters of life carry us to places that we don't want to go. There's a lot of things going on in my own life right now that I would just rather not have to deal with. That the water is carrying me to these different places. But what this card reminds me is that as the water carries us to these places, we can be confident in knowing that our throne, our cement throne, rests upon the divine. And that wherever it is that the water leads us, we are not there by ourselves, but God, the living water, is there with us. And that is what ultimately can bring us the confidence and the courage that we need to ride out the wave, to not be holding on for dear life, to trust that the throne is not going to sink, but that the water is going to safely carry us to our destination. So anyway, that's what it speaks to me. What about you? Right? Where is the water carrying you today? Is it carrying you to a place you'd rather not go? Is it carrying you to a place that's full of fear and worry and anxiety and all the different things? Trust today that wherever it is that the water is carrying you, your throne rests, your life rests upon God. And wherever it is that that water carries you, you're not going there by yourself. You are not alone. God, the divine, is with you, all around you, holding you up, and is also within you, because our bodies are made up of like 90% water, right? So just as the water is surrounding this king, all around him, it's also within him. And perhaps that's why his gown is blue, because maybe it's trying to show us that just as God is all around him, God is also covering him, and God is also within him. So I hope that can encourage you today. Who knows? Who knows what that might do for you? I hope it does something. But again, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to join me. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.